Hi, my name is Matt, and today I'll be showing you how to make your own ringtones, because let's face it, paying $2.50, $3 for a ringtone is insane and crazy, and as long as you own the song already, there's no reason you shouldn't be able to make it into a ringtone so you can use it on your phone. It's ridiculous. This tutorial is for people who are computer challenged, so I'll be going a little slowly. For those of you who know what you're doing, you probably could figure this out on your own, but if you're listening anyway, just bear with me. Okay, there's a couple of things we're going to need before we get started. First off, you're going to need your song that you're going to use as ringtone in the MP3 format. I'm going to assume you know what that is and that it's in the format already. I'm not going to cover conversion because that's a whole other can of worms for the computer challenged, and hopefully you don't need help there. Second, you're going to need audio editing software. I'll show you this in a moment. You're also going to need lame MP3 encoder, which is another thing I will show you. And finally, a way to transfer the file to your phone, Bluetooth, USB cable, something like that. I can't really help you with that because it's going to be different depending on what phone you have, what provider you have, and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so we need an audio editor. Fortunately, there is one, and it's free. It is called Audacity. Go to audacity.sourceforge.net. Okay, this is the Audacity website. Scroll down here. There are two download links right on the front page. I'm going to suggest you download the beta because that's the one I'll be using in this tutorial. It's really pretty stable, so there's not much to worry about. I've never had a problem with it. Go to recommended download down here. Windows 2000, XP, and Vista. And then click on it. And this will take you to a download link. Here it is. Hit save file. And download it. Okay, before you close your web browser, you're going to need to download lame MP3 encoder, which is right here under optional downloads. Click on that. Go to the lame download page. It'll be the first link right here for Audacity on Windows. Download this zip file. Inside the file will be a file called lame_enc.dll. This is a file that allows Audacity to export MP3 files. You're going to need this later, and I'll explain it when it comes up. After you download and install Audacity, go ahead and open it. It should look something like this when you first open it up. Maybe it's a little bit intimidating if you've never used something like this before, but don't worry, we'll stick to basic functions. So now we need the MP3 file that we're going to use as the ringtone. Mine's right here. I'm going to just drag and drop it in, and it'll import the MP3 file. Just like that. So before we go any farther, let's learn some of the basic controls so we're not totally lost in here. We have pause, play, that sort of thing up here. There we go. Stop. We have cut, copy, paste, other things up here. Zoom in, zoom out, very important if you want to zoom in and get down to the little bits of the file. Alright, now we need to pick a portion of this file to be used as a ringtone. Generally, as a guideline, you probably want to pick somewhere in between 15 to 30 seconds. If you go much over 30 seconds, then a lot of phones will not let you use that as a ringtone. So go ahead and listen through your song and figure out where you want your selection to start. I've already listened through mine, and I figured out that I want to start at about 14 seconds. So down here where it says selection start at the bottom, I'm going to type in 14 seconds. 14 next to the S here. So 1, 4, and now we've gone to 14 seconds on this selection here, this little line. I'll zoom in a bit. I want this ringtone to be about 20 seconds. So here we have length. Right now it's 0 seconds. Let's change that to 20. Now this highlighted area here is our 20 seconds of ringtone. Let's listen to that. Okay, sounds pretty good. Next thing we want to do is trim the whole song. So go up here next to paste there's a button called Trim. Go ahead and click that. That'll get rid of everything but our highlighted selection, which is all we really want now. Now go over here to Time Shift tool and click that. Now click and drag, and you can drag around our little audio file here. Now this is just our ringtone, our 20 seconds of ringtone right here. It sounds pretty good, but you'll notice it ends pretty abruptly. A lot of ringtones either loop or fade out, and since this one probably isn't prone to looping, we're going to fade it out. You're gonna have to listen to your file to determine, when you want to fade it out and things like that. It's gonna be different for different songs, but I'm gonna give this one about 2 seconds of fade out. So start at 18 seconds of 20, and then go for 2 seconds, and I have this portion selected. Alright, now go up to Effect and hit Fade Out. Very simple. It's just faded out these 2 seconds. Now it sounds like this. Now our ringtone will fade out instead of abruptly ending. Much better. Okay, one last thing to do before you can get this ringtone onto your phone. Go up to File, hit Export, and you're going to want to save your file somewhere as an MP3. Make sure that's selected, and then hit Options. Under Options, you specify the quality of the MP3 file. Since quality is linked to how big the file size is, you're going to want to play around with this to get the best mix of quality and file size. Some phones don't let you use an MP3 as a ringtone if it's over a certain file size. That's going to vary, but generally you want to keep your ringtones under about 300 kilobytes. I'm just going to select 56 kilobits per second. Hit OK, and then hit Save. This next step is unimportant for ringtone creation. Just hit OK. Now Audacity will ask you to find Lame Encoder, which is the file we downloaded earlier along with Audacity. This is the one that allows it to create MP3 files. Depending on where you installed it, you're going to need to find it through the browse. It's going to ask you where it is. I recommend you put it in the same folder as Audacity is installed to, which by default is C, Program Files, Audacity 3.1 Beta. I'm going to drag it in there. There it is. Now we're going to go to Program Files, Audacity 3.1 Beta, and click on lameencoder.dll. And then hit OK, and Audacity will encode the MP3 file. Alright, here's my finished MP3 ringtone. To find out the size of the file, because I mentioned before that might be important, right click, hit Properties, and there it is, Size. Now if you listen to this file, you'll probably notice that it doesn't sound nearly as good as the original, and that's because we degraded the quality so much, thus making the size smaller. That's not a big concern because, let's face it, your phone doesn't exactly have the greatest speakers in the world. No phone does. Alright, well unfortunately this is where I get off. Because there are so many different ways to transfer files to different phones and so many different pieces of software to do it, pretty much every brand has their own method. I really can't help you because I only own one phone and I've only done it one way really. But I hope I have helped you to take your own songs and make MP3 files out of them. Saved you a couple bucks maybe, and you learned something new. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, or at the very least got something useful out of it.